Alright guys, Revolver Ocelot here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the first post-draft Smackdown Live. Again, I do just want to say appropriate. I always wear the appropriate attire. And I guess the immediate thought is, was it better than Raw? Was it how better than Raw? However, I am going against popular opinion when I say I actually don't think it was a bad show. I've seen a lot of negative feedback on pretty much, not everything, but quite a bit of it. But I thought this was an okay show. I don't think Eddie Guerrero is turning in his grave watching this episode of Smackdown. And there may be some bias there because Smackdown was my show. You know, I grew up with Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit on Smackdown and Rey Mysterio on Smackdown. And obviously later on it was Punk and Hardy and Jericho and Ray and Taker. So, I mean, maybe there's a little bit bias, but I don't think so. There were a couple of things I do want to say actually were better than Raw. I think the commentary, because of how good Mauro Ranallo is leaps and bounds better than any other commentator in this entire company, and it 100% showed on this show. He was great, just awesome. I thought David Otunga was okay. I think he was better than Byron Saxton, which was a line that was actually said by JBL at one point, which was good. And JBL's JBL. So JBL and Michael Cole are pretty much on even ground. So maybe the commentary on the show was slightly better because of the quality of Mauro Ranallo. The other thing I thought was actually quite good about the show was the unpredictability of the main event, which of course we will get to in a minute. So let's get into this Smackdown live show. So the show started with Bryan and Shane in the ring, very similar to how Raw started with Stephanie and Shane. We had the opening package for the show, which has a new theme song as well. It's called Take a Chance, and it's by Cephos. So for Raw, they'll go out of their way to get bring a band in like Shinedown and to get them to do the theme. For SmackDown, we'll just get Cephos to do it. It's fine. They do everything for us. They do a lot of good work, Cephos, so give them some credit. But so yeah, Bryan, it was a good the opening package is good, but here's a couple of issues. Ambrose is not in it until the very, very end. He's in it once, and basically he goes through pretty much everyone on the roster. So you've got the NXT call-ups like Bliss and Carmella and Mojo, and the Hype Bros are incredibly early in it. It finishes with Styles, and maybe that's a good thing for the future, because Raw's finished with Sasha Banks, and of course she won the women's title, so maybe they're going to focus on AJ Styles a little bit more. I guess we'll find out. I guess I focused too much on that, to be fair. So yeah, Daniel Bryan and Shane were in the ring. They were surrounded, the ring was surrounded, well, all the stars were actually standing on the apron, by all the SmackDown Live stars, and you can tell immediately how exposed this roster is. I picked out pretty much about 5 main event talent. Unless they make some more, which is what I guess the whole point of the draft split is, so more power to them if they're going to do that. But I definitely noticed how exposed this roster was, and also how much smaller it was, but I guess it is 2 hours, so it does make sense being a smaller show. And what was weird is Becky Lynch is right in the middle of a shot, so I was just like, they're going to put focus on Becky Lynch again. I focus on that. I maybe dive too in depth into little things like that. Even Marie was also very, very close to the middle. So Daniel Bryan announces that we are going to find the new #1 contender for Dean Ambrose's WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and he announces that there will be a 6-pack challenge as the main event of SmackDown tonight, because you know we've got to compete with Raw's 2 Fatal 4-Ways. They didn't. So the 6 participants, and when I looked at this, my immediate thought was Cena, Wyatt, Styles, and then I actually said, I couldn't pick another 3. I knew Orton wouldn't be one of them. I said Miz. Kind of makes sense that he'd want the WWE title, or the WWE World title, which they've reverted back to calling it. No, they said Cena, Styles, Wyatt, Baron Corbin, which I actually forgot, which was a good one, and Dolph Ziggler. See where I'm going, right? So yeah, I mean, look, Dolph Ziggler and I have a rocky relationship. I've loved Dolph Ziggler for years. I think that now he's having way too fast matches, but I still like him. Like, it was the moment at the end of the show was a cool moment for me. Like, it wasn't like, oh, great, like, yay, like a mark out moment. It was like a cool moment of like, nice. But then I just thought, oh, it's like 4 years too late. So anyway, yes, Ziggler, Corbin, Wyatt, Styles, Cena, and then the last one would be the winner of a battle royal between the rest of the brand, and so that battle royal would be next. So the battle royal, this was basically just everyone else on the brand. You've got the Vaudevillains, Breezango, the Ascension. I laughed when Simon Gotch was eliminated first. That's because that's for fighting with Sin Cara backstage, Simon. You know, there was only 4 winners in this to me. It was either Cruz, Kane, Del Rio, or my other one was Ryder. And I was very close with my final 4. Kalisto was in the final 4 with Kane, Apollo Crews, and Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder botched an elbow drop off the top rope. I think he just slipped and just landed on his feet, and then he went for an elbow, and then halfway down he just started punching him in the face. It looked silly. Everybody noticed it. There was no Botchamania chance there. The crowd were actually quite into the show, to be fair. So, not as much as Raw, obviously, but, I mean, they were more into the show than you'd think. So, Kane eliminates Kalisto, then he eliminates Zack Ryder. Kane goes to chokeslam Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews flips over and then pulls the rope down and Kane goes out. Apollo Crews wins. I thought that was definitely the right choice. Apollo Crews is a big star in the making. You just need to develop his character a little bit more and stop him from smiling. They're doing a lot more of these post-match interviews and pre-match interviews. Renee Young is the post and pre-match interviewer for Smackdown. It seems like Tom Phillips or Byron Saxton will be the one for Raw, and I think this is very good. I imagine Renee Young was put with Smackdown because Dean Ambrose is there. I imagine that I mean, yeah, they want to keep the champ happy. And they should want to keep the champ happy. And I do want to say Ambrose came out in the opening segment and looked around the ring and said, oh, there's some talented guys here. And I was just like, yeah, I feel quite bad for Dean Ambrose. I think he definitely got the short straw of the 3 Shield guys. I mean, he can work a couple of main events against each of these top guys, but after a while, we're just going to have to revert back to the same main event guys. So, I do feel quite sorry for Dean Ambrose. He's not going to have the diversity I think Raw are going to have in their main event scene. So yeah, Apollo Crews won. I gave the Battle Royal like 2 1/4 stars. It was an okay Battle Royal. You know, it was good in terms of like, the winner was absolutely correct. Definitely should have been Crews, and Crews' promo after it was fine. Is that all my notes? That's all my notes for that match. We moved on. It was Becky Lynch against Natalya. They, for some reason, rematched the Battleground match, which I was fine with because it was actually a good match. I thought it was better than the Battleground match. There was just a little bit more tenacity there. The crowd were not as dead because Zayn and Owens hadn't just stolen the show, or stolen the year, basically. So there was definitely a bigger crowd reaction to this match, even though I felt shockingly that Becky Lynch was being booed when she's kicking out of pins, which kind of made me laugh a little bit because she's supposed to be your top babyface for the brand. Good back and forth. They kind of botched a sharpshooter counter into a disarmer at one point halfway through, but then in the end they got it perfect, and Becky Lynch countered the sharpshooter into the disarmer. Natalya has to tap out, so she gets a win back. 50-50 booking, obviously, but Becky Lynch should be getting a win back, so that's fine. There was no mention of a woman's title or anything for the brand, which I felt like they might do after this match or before it. But after this matchup, Becky Lynch got a promo. She said, "I'm Becky Balboa." You came back from 1 match, 1 loss, so not quite Rocky Balboa. And then we had basically a showcase for the SmackDown Women's Division, where Alexa Bliss came out and said, "I'm what the future looks like," and I was like, yes. She cut the best promo. Alexa Bliss is great. She's if you're not familiar with NXT and you are a WWE fan and you watch SmackDown, Alexa Bliss, I would say her biggest strength is her promo work as a heel, and I look forward to Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch being SmackDown's focused feud, whilst Sasha and Charlotte is a more technical rivalry over on Raw. I think Bliss and Becky can use crowd reactions a little bit more in terms of their characters being so more one note. And one note in a good way, like basic heel, basic face, a really good heel, and a pretty good face. Well, a really good face, I do like Becky. So yeah, Alexa Bliss came out, cut a promo, it was a really good promo. Alexa Bliss, to me, should just be given the woman's title. I think she's the best promo on the brand, as well, in terms of women's wrestlers. But there's only 6, so she doesn't have much competition. And that's not me criticising the other women's promo ability, I'm just saying there's only 6 of them. And then Naomi came out, I have no idea if she's a face or a heel, and she said, Alexa, you haven't even stepped in a ring yet, so you haven't even stepped in a Smackdown ring yet, what makes you think you deserve to be the face of this brand? And then Carmella came out, she did my name is Carmella and I'm the Princess of Staten Island, and then she did obviously she can't do I'm the most fabulous diva in NXT, not on NXT, so she said something along the lines of, it was like, Smackdown, it just got, Tuesday nights just got fabulous. That's fine. Nobody sang along with it, and maybe that's because she's new and people aren't going to get it, and she definitely shouldn't have been split from Enzo and Cass, that's all I'm going to say. So yeah, Carmella came out, and then of course there was one woman left in this division, weirdly, and it was Eva Marie, and she had and I don't like using this word, the cringiest entrance, not music, the music's not very good, but the actual, like, there was like a monologue, which was like, from Northwest California or something like that, and it was just really, really horrible sounding. She came out, she didn't say a thing, which was a good thing. There's 4, I noticed how there's actually 4 heels in this women's division to 2 faces, and Bliss is, yeah, the best heel there. So yeah, Eva came out and was wearing an even more revealing top than she normally does, so good on her. I'm not surprised. But yeah, and that was the end of the segment. I thought this was an okay segment because it showcased the depth of the division, and by that I mean the 6 women in the division. But I think it kind of exposed the promo ability of Naomi and Carmella, and Eva was there. So, but this was like a good segment, and then Eva came out. So, and a good segment was basically, I think Becky was fine, and then Alexa Bliss was really good. So, okay, it was okay. Then we had, I believe, my notes were basically, no one sang to Carmella, and Eva Marie wasn't booed, lol. So, Eva Marie was booed. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, of course she was booed. I was generally thinking, was she booed? She was booed out of the building. Which, Alexa Bliss and Carmella didn't really get a crowd reaction. So, probably because nobody knew who they were. Then we had the Miz TV segment, and Miz came out, and Miz TV was with the Miz. That's perfect. I do love the Miz. I think Miz is great, and his promo ability's got to be top 5 on that entire brand, up there with Ambrose, so, and Styles, and Cena on a good day. So, oh, and Baron Corbin. So, yeah, Miz TV with the Miz was good. I enjoyed this, and then Randy Orton came out, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. My notes for this basically, Miz is great. Orton is not wearing black, as in tights, which I actually found out he was. I thought he was wearing grey or like purple or something. I was wrong. That's the best water in the world. So yeah, Orton came out, Miz was like, oh, you've got Lesnar at SummerSlam, your first match back, blah 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 blah, and Orton said, well, it doesn't have to be my first match back, I can have a match with you tonight. And basically, I thought they'd just plan this as next week's main event, because that's a good main event for next week. No, they had the match right there and then. They moved all the Miz TV stuff out the ring, and we went into Miz against Randy Orton. I do just want to say for this Miz TV segment, a couple of my notes. Otunga is better than Byron, was a JBL quote, and I actually agree. Not much better, but I thought Otunga was actually pretty good. What else did I say? Oh, I thought Randy Orton was CM Punk. Because he has the sleeve tats, and he was wearing a different shirt that wasn't black, and I didn't think he was wearing black tights, so it's a little bit different. I know that's a weird, slight comparison, but oh, Orton said kill, and then the line that really got me was when Orton said, if I hit Lesnar with one RKO, I'll take him to Viperville. And I was just like, Viperville's cool, but if you hit Lesnar with one RKO, he's going to kick out of one. So, if Lesnar is beaten by one RKO, I will kill myself, because that's a very, very, very silly thing. Miz versus Randy Orton. My notes for this are just RKO out of nowhere. This lasted about 4 minutes. I thought as a segment this was okay. I gave it 2 stars as a match, because I felt like this showcased the RKO. So, it just showcased the power of the RKO. And if they're going to build the RKO as this really powerful move, and maybe it could put Lesnar away with one, that's great. I really like finishes that are powerful. See the Styles Clash, for example. Or the F5. So, Miz took Orton on early. Orton just hit an RKO out of nowhere. And then just looked at Miz and picked him up and then just RKO'd him again. I think that's really good. It did protect the RKO because he didn't cover him after one. Just picked him up and gave him another one. Miz sold the RKO for a little bit too long though. So, this match could have had like 30 minutes cut off it. 30 minutes? 30 seconds. It was 4 minutes long. But 2 stars. I thought this was okay. People have called this like really, really bad, and I thought this was a good segment. They said that it destroyed the Intercontinental title. I don't think so. I think it's not good for the Intercontinental title. I don't think it was necessarily bad. I mean, the Intercontinental champion is in there with a main event guy in Orton, so I don't think it's a bad thing. American Alpha promo. So, they advertised them for next week, and that's a good thing, because they're the best tag team in the company that aren't called Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. Heath Slater came out, and he came from the crowd, which means, of course, that he's not on the brand, which he shouldn't be. And he went in the ring, he cut a promo, why wasn't I drafted? Shane comes out and says, Heath, you've got to do a resume or something to... Oh, no, you've got to send in... We've got to send in a resume or something, and Heath obviously misheard him and said sign in or something. But then Shane was just like, well, Heath, I do see the hottest free agent in the ring, and Rhino was standing behind Heath Slater. Rhino is the hottest free agent in professional wrestling. Hasn't Roderick Strong just left Ring of Honor? I know WWE would not acknowledge that, but I, as a Roderick Strong fan, need to notice that. But yeah, Rhino gored Heath Slater. Rhino is back on Smackdown, which actually reminds me, they did a promo for Shelton Benjamin, who was returning, which is very nice for me as a big Team Angle fan. So, Shelton Benjamin is returning. They didn't say when. It was basically like the Cruiserweight. It was coming soon. Yeah, which was interesting. Shelton Benjamin will go after the Intercontinental title. I bet you any money. I mean, Shelton Benjamin was always that mid-card guy but could never main event, which was kind of sad because he put on some really good matches with Shawn Michaels once. Move on to the main event, 6-pack challenge. Bray Wyatt, AJ Styles, John Cena, Baron Corbin, Apollo Crews, and... John Cena? Is John Cena the one I forgot? Wait, Bray Wyatt, Baron Corbin, John Cena, AJ Styles, Apollo Crews, and Dolph Ziggler. Yeah, it's the 6th. Okay, so immediately I forgot John Cena. That was actually kind of funny. No John Cena promo on this show. Outside of they did these promos with each member in this 6-pack challenge, and they basically said why they thought they'd win it and why they needed to win it. So Ziggler was like, "You've been in this company for a long time now and never really been given my shot." Corbin was just like, "I need to win it for me." Best promo of them all. Bret Wyatt's... Oh, I didn't cut one, did he? So this 6-pack challenge, I thought this was a pretty good match. I actually did enjoy this. I thought 6-pack challenges were elimination. So whenever somebody went for a pin and it was broken up, I was like, what are you doing? It's an elimination match. Because towards the end was my favourite bit, because everybody just kept hitting finishers, and Crews did the sit-out powerbomb, and Cena hitting it 2 AAs on everyone, and Ziggler hit a zigzag, and Wyatt hit Sister Abigail's, and Styles hit a phenomenal forearm, and Corbin never hit an end of days. He was the only one who never hit a finisher. But I thought this was a pretty good match. In the end, AJ Styles has John Cena beaten with a phenomenal forearm, and then Dolph Ziggler runs in, super kick, and AJ Styles dies on the cell, which was awesome. AJ Styles is great, which made that cell so much better. Dolph Ziggler pins AJ Styles 1, 2, 3. Dolph Ziggler is the #1 contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and will be facing Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam for the belt. As a Dolph Ziggler fan, I know I criticised him a lot on Money in the Bank, but that doesn't mean I don't like him. I do like Dolph Ziggler. I'm wearing his shirt. I have 2 of them. So I think that he needs to slow down in his matches. I think that he can have a great match with Ambrose, which I am looking forward to it. I noticed how on this SmackDown show they put over SmackDown a lot more than Raw did. So Raw weren't like all night, God, Raw's better than SmackDown. When Ziggler won his match, and the place did fairly pop, although when it came out, he didn't get much of a pop. In fact, I think my note was, to be honest... Oh no, my notes for this match are... Bray's great, because he is, and break after 4 seconds, because his match started and 4 seconds later there was a commercial break. They don't know how to cut a TV show. But, yeah, when Ziggler came out originally, he didn't get much of a pop. When he won, he got an okay pop. So yeah, Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam. Dean Ambrose came out and basically held the belt up. And then Daniel Bryan came out, held up both rams, and Shane came out. So, pretty good main event. I gave it 3 stars. I think this was a good matchup. I preferred it to the Becky and Natalya match, just because it was very unpredictable. I didn't know who was going to win. I felt like Bray Wyatt was going to win. But Wyatt and and Ambrose, to me, was the world title match at SummerSlam, especially because Wyatt was drafted like number 5 to SmackDown. So, but yeah, I thought this was pretty good. Anyway, so my final grade for SmackDown, I gave Raw 8.5, which I'm gonna bump it to a 9. I know yesterday I was like 8 or an 8.5. Now it was a 9. I watched the squash matches again yesterday, and the Strowman one's great. James Ellsworth is such a wonderful human being, and my final grade for this show is a 5.5. I thought this was okay. The women's match was good, and I thought the main event was good, and I think Ziggler winning was shocking, which I think was definitely what the show needed. And if you can make Ziggler a main event star again, all power to you, because I do like Dolph Ziggler, and I want to see him have great matches. The matchup at SummerSlam with Ambrose should be great. They are great workers, and they can work well together. I've seen them work good together on Raw in the past, so I'm looking forward to Dolph Ziggler and Finn Balor. That was going to be my next point. I'm looking forward to Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose. However, and basically David Otunga and JBL and Mauro was saying that, oh god, SmackDown are going to steal the show at SummerSlam, and I know they've got to say that, but all I could think was Balor and Rollins. So I imagine Raw will have the better of the two there. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This has been Raw Russell. I hope you enjoyed SmackDown last night. What do you think to Dolph Ziggler being a main eventer again? Do you think Apollo Crews was the right guy to win the Battle Royal? And what did you think to the women's segment? Do you think Alexa Bliss is the god of a heel that I think she is? Thanks for watching. This has been Raw Russell. Like, comment, and subscribe for more.